Today we're going to go over some Denver Nuggets offensive actions. If you've been a Denver Nuggets fan or just watched Denver Nuggets the last several years, you will know a lot of these actions because not only Denver uses them, but also a lot of NBA other teams use them as well. But Denver has a certain look with Jokic. Now let's take a look at this. This is start off as a set play that they want to go. Right here, as we see this, how many times have we seen this two-man game actions clear out? They can just play it. I call this two-man game action because with Jamal Murray and Jokic, I don't know if there's a better, if we look at synergy, if we look at advanced stats, two-man game combo that's just as efficient as these two have been in the last 3 to 4 years even. So right here, we're going to look at it. Fake handoff, but what we're looking at here is a flare plus a post-up. Do you see this? And they ran this a lot against the Lakers, against other teams in the playoffs, not just last year, but a lot the year they won the title. And right here, let's break this down real quick. Get the ball in the high post here. We look for a two-man handoff with Jamal Murray Jokic. If there's not there, we have a flare for Cam Johnson, who's a great three-point shooter here. But what they're really looking at is seeing what are we guarding with Hayward. Can we get him a quick duck in, quick post up? And right here we see it. Foul is called, and this is a set play I think we'll see a couple times throughout the year, maybe more than a couple times, where they're trying to get Hayward posted up in different looks. Let's take a look at this one now. And again, I love how Denver plays on the high post because obviously of Jokic, but also just how they've been. A lot of DHO and handoffs. Right here, little communication. This is us, as you guys know, watch the New York Knicks video. This is, you guessed it right, zoom action. That's right, guys, zoom action. Every team's run it the last several years, but this right here, down screen into a DHO, dribble handoff. We see here, little communication there, but Aaron Gordon's right there. Coming over there, and it's a down screen into a dribble handoff that Braun takes, and we play out of it. And of course, on that one side, we have a single side with an elite shooter here where you like to see him more in the corner when this DHO happens. I think he does fill a little bit to the corner. You like to see him more in the corner here where my mouse cursor is, just to flatten out the defense a little bit. But of course, you don't really like to help on a shooter, and a lot of defensives don't like to help off a corner three, right? It's just something we see in college and the NBA, and because of that, we have this type of action here. And again, for those of you new to the channel, I know some of you guys have some questions and DMs about, hey, what's DHO, what's Zoom? Right here, if you didn't watch a New York Knicks video, it's a down screen into a dribble handoff. I call it also, you can call it point over the top as well, but this is more Zoom action. It's a down screen into a dribble handoff, and this is something you'll see a lot of teams run. I'm telling you guys, you're going to see teams run this. You've seen them run it already, but you're going to see a lot of teams run it this year, and it's not just Denver Nuggets, and that's zoom action into an easy lay-in. Take a look here, and the Denver Nuggets here, they're looking like they're in season form here. Go into a ball screen here. Don't have anything. And I'm just going to post this because we've seen this so many times here with Jamal Murray and, of course, Jokic. Two-man game action. I mean, this is pretty simple, right? Two-man game action there. I mean, Johnson's not really known for his ball screen capabilities offensively. But right here, we just have it up top. We have two-man action right here, a DHO pitch into a ball screen. We see Jamal Murray come off this, and just a nice little pocket pass right there. And, of course, Braun has been a better three-point shooter. Defender didn't really help. And because of that, we have a layup. And, again, if you're a Denver Nuggets fan, you've seen so many two-man game actions, just not with Jokic already. But in terms of this, just shows how good these two are in just this coverage. There's so many things you can do defensively, but it just seems that whatever you do defensively, whether you trap it, you blitz it, you hedge it, you soft on it, help, blue, down, what have you, it just seems like they get really good actions, and it's why in the postseason, these two are a terrific tandem, and if they're healthy, they're going to be a problem for any defense that we see here. Take a look at a couple more here, guys. Braun taking the ball up here. And this happens a lot into a flare into zoom action right here. One thing I've noticed is that they will sometimes go 5 out. I don't have any clips here, but they'll go 5 out into flare, and they'll slip the flare. I think we might see it later on if I don't have that. But this right here, as you can tell right here, it's get it here, we get DHO into a dribble handoff. Not quite zoom action, but we have a DHO, kind of similar to DHO into a dribble handoff, come off it. And, of course, Jamal Murray coming down the screen here, but watch what this happens. I notice a lot of teams, though, what we'll see here, I think Cleveland did this a lot, as where they'll send a cutter here. Yep, Braun is motioning it. You see this? Braun is motioning, where Cleveland will sometimes send this, I'd call it a 45 cut if they were driving into the paint here, but see how Braun, I think that's Strather, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm sorry about that, but one of these guys has to cut. Usually it would be this guy cutting into the slot and cutting hard, but other times it'll be the corner guy. Cleveland sends the baseline cutter as well in dribble drives, and right here we see this happen where it comes over here. Yep, he starts his cut here, but instead he's going to turn it into kind of a screen here. Stops right there. But that's kind of what we see here is when you have a three-man action on one side, as we roll it back here, DHO, dribble handoff into a ball screen. Again, the reason why people prefer doing the zoom action or the dribble handoff into a ball screen is because this is just a little bit tougher to attack here. This is a little bit more, you can trap out of it. It's basically a little bit tougher. You can't really drive off it. While in zoom, because you don't have the ball up top and Jokic is such a great ball handler and playmaker, you'd rather have the screen action come and play out of the screen action. But this is a DHO into a ball screen here, and you should just start that cut right away, because when you start this cut right away, Braun goes to the corner, and we have some action going on there. And he gets a foul there. Let's take a look at this right here. This is the first time I've ever had, I don't have the editor here, so it's the first time I've clipped these clips together here. Take a look right here. Braun's going to take this high post, and what we see here is this somewhere, especially the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets series. Do you remember when Anthony Davis and Rui, what they were doing with Darvin Ham? They were doing some different looks in terms of, hey, how can we kind of congest Jokic, make it tough? Well, this is something that the Denver Nuggets, I know we don't have a lot of you guys who play video games, but what I call it is a meta. If you know what the meta is, it's just something where teams are doing, you correct it. Okay, when it's just a team is running a certain style, and how long does it take for teams to catch up and evolve out of it? And this time the Denver action, they first saw it with Darvin Ham with the Lakers. It was kind of quote unquote new, right? Because they were just congesting it, coming off it, but it's such a tough cover here, because when Jokic has the ball here, he's probably one of the few NBA players that could score, can play make, can put the ball on the floor. It is tough when you get a player of this caliber in the high post, because as you see in this setup here, it's, do we hard commit? Do we not hard commit? Do we give him a shot? He makes this shot 9 out of 10 times, 10 out of 10 times. So it's really tough to just cover this. So what do you do as a defender? And because of this, we see this look a lot when the Lakers are running it. Other teams try to emulate it, but because they don't have, an Anthony Davis type defender, they don't have the defense here, it's just really tough here, and it puts defenders in a bind, and we hear of a lob, and an easy look. And this is something that, again, it happens a lot when, okay, we're looking at double, we're looking at different coverages. How do we do this? So let's say this is Jamal Murray, and they're doubling off the ball screen. You're saying, hey, Murray's on fire, he's got 35, let's double him, and the ball gets on Jokic's hand. Well, he's just going to be able to find this look here, and this just evolved because Draymond Green used to be this guy where they would find off the double here, flash in that small little pocket area with the elbow, high post area. But Draymond Green, of course, doesn't have the offense capability as Jokic. And this is literally a raid boss where it's just really tough. And this is why when people say, oh, the NBA doesn't play defense, it's kind of it's how do you defend this? How do you defend when you have a player of this nature, just gravity, who's an extraterrestrial player who's just making these type of moves, these types of reads, and these types of plays? It's really difficult, and we see that look a little bit, and it's nice. I liked how the Nuggets kind of evolve with these looks, right? Because as an NBA coach, if you have to evolve because you're going to see different looks. DHO into I believe is going to be a high post look. Yep. And this is a flare. They do a lot of flare stuff. And right here, this could also be, when this happens right here, not only could this be a flare, but this could also be Jamal Murray setting a down screen or a screen for Hardaway Jr., and we would call that point away action, right? Or if Jamal Murray would go over the top and screen for Christian Braun, that would be called put over the top action. Right? And we talked about this in the Princeton videos, New York Knicks videos, but this little tweak here, where they're going to set a flare here for Jamal Murray here, and pops here. We're going to do 2 main game action, come off here, and the spacing is a little bit off. But one thing I noticed is that no team uses flares as much as the Denver Nuggets the last 2 years. The Denver Nuggets use the most amount of flares in the NBA the last 2 years, and they do it really well off reads and off the high post looks, and it's just really fun to see here. And that's why I put it in there, because you'll see a lot of different flare looks in the Nuggets offense. Let's take a look here. And I call this side action, rub action. I'm not sure what the Nuggets call this. And the reason this works so well is because, yes, it's kind of weird because you have Jokic in a ball screen in a rub angle. But the one thing that you notice here is that what's the defense doing? They're going to soft hedge. They're not switching. They're not doing anything. This is the type of action because you just don't see a lot of. Sixers used to run this with Embiid a little bit a couple years ago. Especially when they had JJ Redick, they had Ben Simmons. But because the Nuggets have, again, Jokic, it's just the defense doesn't know what to do. Do they switch it? Do they hedge it? Do they trap it? Soft hedge. And right here, they see this. And the Denver Nuggets legitimately get a bucket or two every time they run this early in the year because teams just don't understand how to attack that, how to go over it. They kind of fall asleep in the scouting report. We got to make that bucket here. But this is something that just happens a lot. If you ask any Denver Nuggets fan, this is the type of action they've seen the last 3-4 years. You just run it a lot with Hayward as well, but you're going to see probably Nuggets run this a couple times this year, and they're going to get an easy bucket or two because of Jokic's playmaking, the defense just not really being locked in and aware of what's going on here. And I call it a side rub action that they run. I don't think that's the correct term for it, but it's just easy for me to remind when we see that action. And when you see it right here, bam. Okay, we talked over this 2 clips ago, guys. What are we running? Pass to the high post to Valanciunas. What are we doing? We're sending a down screen. Yep, you can call it zoom action. You can call it point over the top play, but that's kind of what we have here. It is called a foul, I believe, offensive foul here. Didn't get set here. It might have been a moving screen here, but again, we see this action here, and when you see this action, it's not just Nuggets run it, but again, they're love running on the high post. Even without Jokic, they're running it, and this is going to be pass to the high post, down screen. I call this point over the top action. You can call it zoom if you want as well. We see Princeton out of the Princeton playbook, Princeton look here, and right here, come off of a GHO. And again, when this happens here, we could see this guy cut, Tim Hardaway Jr. cut, or we could see the corner cut. It really depends on your philosophy, what you want to see here, but it's fun to see what different teams kind of do and react with that. It's actually probably a hold on the defense. All right, last but not least, I want to put this in here. And when this ball gets to the high post, I'm telling you guys right now, I don't have any clips of it now, right? But when this happens, at this 5-out look, there's a lot of times when they will flare this and they will slip off the flare. I wish I had a clip of this. We'll probably look at it maybe in a couple weeks from now. But you're going to see this a lot with a 5-out and they'll look for a flare. And with the flare, you're going to see an easy slip because the teams don't switch concisely. They're not close enough for the switch. They don't talk it through, touch it through, pass it through. So easy slips are happen. But in this clip, it's a little bit different. We have some down screens into, that's right, zoom action, and we play out of it. That's a tough shot there. But again, 5-out look. I call it zoom action because instead of pouring on the top, because we have the center being more face up, high key, seeing the action here. And it's zoom action because, again, pass happened right top of the key, down screen into a DHO right there, just like so. And we come off it. And, of course, we see a cutter there come through. That's what the Nuggets going to do. Again, the Cavs and Kenny Atkinson have done a great job of this. A lot of teams do this where they send it through. And the reason they send it through is because what are we looking at? We're just trying to make it so we have a single side where the defense has to either help on a shooter or a non-shooter, have to help off the corner if this turns the corner high. And we see Hayward kind of not really off this ball screen. We've seen it probably, of course, he's been in the league a couple of times. We notice him and DHO, him off ball screens, kind of like Porter Jr., where he's not looking to attack often. He's a good three-point threat, but he's not looking to attack quite often. But we see that is zoom action, and of course, we're going to see a lot of teams run it. Again, we'll see it one more time. Down screen into a DHO, dribble handoff. It's a zoom action. We send a cutter here, go cut. And they're forgetting to cut here. But what you want to see the timing for the cut here is this. We're cutting here. Then once he takes a dribble or a second dribble, he should be literally cutting because if he gets over here and they overhelp, the overstep, we have, a dump down pass to the dumper spot. The dunker spot, or we have a kick out to the corner if the person overhelps here. And I like how the Bulls are trying. You see the effort here. You see Billy Donovan is really getting this Bulls team to play defense, get after it. But guys, I hope you guys like this video. These are just some actions that you'll see, not just the Nuggets use, but a lot of different teams use. If you have any questions, please comment down below. As always, thanks for watching, and keep your sights on basketball vision.